Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My fellow brothers and sisters out on the interwebs, I hope you guys are doing absolutely phenomenal, inshallah. This is your brother Yasin again coming at you guys with another podcast episode for the Deen Ilm Chronicles podcast. So it has been about 2 weeks since I posted the last episodes. In those 2 weeks, there's a lot of exciting ilm. I don't know if exciting ilm is the right word here, but there's a lot of summarization that as I've been learning the word by word for different surah in the Quran. My teacher has spoken to us about Suratul Fil. There's some really, really amazing nuggets. Of course, there's amazing nuggets throughout the entire Quran, amazing learnings in every surah in the Quran. And we went over Suratul Fil. We talked about the connection between Suratul Fil and Suratul Quraysh. I still have to make podcast episodes regarding the other surah that I have went over with my teacher prior to when I started the podcast, Surah Al-Falaq, Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Nasr, Surah Al-Kafirun, all just, mashallah, gold and gems in those summaries that are going to be there, inshallah. So I'm working on putting some systems together because I am publishing on multiple platforms and I want to make sure that I am able to be consistent across all of the different publications. But in today's episode, I really wanted to touch base on a nugget that I think is going to be very valuable for many of us. As I have gone out and I'm working on building my business coaching and consulting agency, and I'm putting more content out there, a number of brothers reached out to me regarding the fitna of becoming famous or social media online famous and making sure that one is able to stay grounded. And so I had this discussion with a brother, and what came to my mind was a dua that my teacher taught me many years ago now that is extremely valuable, and it goes back to actually a giant in our deen. It goes back to Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu an. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him, in that there was a dua that he would constantly remind himself of, that I think is extremely valuable and one that I wanted to share with you, because the point of this podcast is for me to chronicle the deen ilm that I have studied with my mashayikh and with my teacher over the many years. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. And so obviously I have at this point probably, and I'm not even joking, thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of notes. And of course, many of these, what is it that I implement on a daily basis for myself? I want to make sure that inshallah there's an outlet for me to be able to share this. And if there's anybody who can get khair from this, may I just ask you, please make dua for us, inshallah. So the dua that Abu Bakr radiallahu anh would recite regularly was very powerful. It's Allahumma ghfirli ma la ya'lamun ولا تؤاخذني بما يقولون وَاجْعَلْنِي خَيْرًا مِمَّا يَظُنُّونَ. Okay, and so I'm going to say it a little bit slower so you can get an idea of what it is, and you're more than welcome to Google it, or I'm going to try and do my best to put it in the show notes, or if you would like to memorize this dua, please do not hesitate to reach out, and so therefore I can go ahead and send it to you. However, the translation for this is Allahumma ghfirli ma la ya'lamun. Allah, Allahumma, right? Ya Allah, ighfirli, forgive me, forgive me, li, ma la ya'lamun, for that which they do not know. And so this is a dua that you recite from when somebody is praising you, or somebody is giving you extra attention, or you feel yourself becoming ungrounded and you feel yourself going into the point of having inner importance. You feel your ego and your arrogance coming to overtake you, or in the general, even if it's not overtaking you, it's just a grounding dua for you to remind yourself that what is the core foundation of what it is that you should be remembering, which is Allahumma ghfirli ma la ya'lamun, forgive me for that which they do not know. Right? You're reminding yourself that, hey, don't take what it is that anybody is saying to heart, because there is so much things that they don't even know that you do that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. And so you're grounding yourself on that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forgive me for that which they don't even know. And then the second part of the dua is وَلَا تُؤَاخِذْنِي بِمَا يَقُولُونَ, do not hold me accountable, وَلَا تُؤَاخِذْنِي بِمَا يَقُولُونَ, for what it is that they say. Do not hold me responsible for all of the things that they say that may or may not be true about me, right? And so it's a matter of removing yourself and deflating your balloon. When somebody oftentimes when individuals praise me to my face, I oftentimes joke around and I tell them, hey, do you know what happens when you overinflate a balloon? It pops. And so please be careful, right? And so it's a matter of making sure that you are able to ground yourself. So وَلَا تُؤَاخِذْنِي بِمَا يَقُولُونَ وَاجْعَلْنِي خَيْرًا مِمَّا يَظُنُّونَ. خَيْرًا مما يظنون. And طبعا we have the idgham there, وَاجْعَلْنِي خَيْرًا مِمَّا يظنون, which means that make me better, وَاجْعَلْنِي, make me خَيْرًا, make me better مِمَّا يظنون, than that which they think of me. And so I found, subhanAllah, the reason I love this dua is because it is very encompassing. It is not only grounding you to ask for forgiveness for that which they do not know, because you understand that you are fallible, you are somebody who makes mistakes, and so you don't take somebody's praise and let it get to your head. At the same time, you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to not be held responsible for those things that they say, because especially when you get famous, or you're giving talks, or you're going out there and you're doing things that other people would speak highly of you, it is very easy for your niyyah, right? إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, the very first hadith in almost all of the books of hadith, is that the reward that you get for the action is based on the intention. And so you want to make sure that you are purifying and you're having ikhlas for the intention for what it is that you are doing, is because you don't in any way, shape, or form want to be doing this action for the sake of the praise of the people. You want to make sure that this is something you're doing solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then at the same time, the dua is not leaving you in being a weak position and saying, oh, I'm not good, I'm not this, I'm not that, because وَجَعَلْنِي خَيْرًا مِمَّا يَظُنُّونَ. You're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for personal development, for being better than that which is what they actually say. And so I found, subhanAllah, this dua is very encompassing. It encapsulates the both perspectives of being grounded and yet also striving to be better. And so this is what I wanted to share with you guys today, is this beautiful dua of Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiyallahu an. And so really just memorizing it and making a part of your psyche and making it a habitual pattern, especially for those of you who are running service-based businesses, anybody who is out there who is a speaker, or somebody who's out there who is trying to do da'wah, somebody out there who is in front of the people. It is very, very common, if you are very good at being eloquent in your speech, that people will start to either look up to you or they'll start to praise you. And so it's very important to keep yourself grounded, surrounding yourself with those who would make sure that they keep you grounded as well. Obviously, if you surround yourself with your parents, if they're still alive, then obviously they will remind you constantly that you are still a child. Some of the elders, I know that my mashayikh, whenever I'm in their company, they constantly remind me that, hey, no matter how old you get, no matter what your accomplishments will be, you will always be our student, you'll always be our child, you'll always be our son. And so it grounds you immediately to the present moment. And so I hope you guys found value in that. Again, the dua is Allahumma ghfirli ma la ya'lamun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forgive me for that which they do not know. Allahumma ghfirli ma la ya'lamun. That's number one. Number two, wa la tu'akhidhni bima yaqulun. And then number three, waj'alni khayran mimma yadhunnun. Again, I will do my best to put it in the show notes. You can also Google it, or you can reach out to me and I can send it to you as well, if this is one that you would like to memorize and add into your repertoire of dua. Inshallah, I will catch you guys on the next one. Your brother Yasin checking out. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.